Welcome to the Great Debate.
Test. Okay, I'm coming through all right. Things seem to be going good this morning. Not sure why everything with my little bots isn't working. I was looking for, right up into the beginning of the show, a couple of guests to pop on. I even tried to get Cog on this morning, but what he's doing is so extremely entertaining. I almost was like, you know, could I put my show off until he's done? And then, no, I gotta do my show on time. I gotta be consistent. I know what I gotta do, and I gotta get it done. Not just that, but I enjoy doing my show. The most difficult part of it is filling in the board for everybody. It's really hard to come up with questions or things to talk about so that when you all come in and chat with me, I can have something to chat about. These questions are difficult. I find myself doing oddball searches, much like I did in the beginning of making videos, where I'm just searching keywords and oddball things. Apparently, my presence in another person's Discord server, and I've been there a while, enticed him to come visit mine, and I literally got shit posted this morning. So, as the chat goes on, if the things start coming through, there's a new Discord link. I have not posted in the links yet. I may do it a little bit later. I'm waiting to see what happens there and how well I can leave the link up, how determined they are to come in and shit post with pictures of shitty things. It's quite terrible. Cryptic, how are we doing today? Doku, thanks for joining us. Ragnock, how are we doing? I don't even know if I dare pronounce the alphabet. Ragnock alphabet. Alphabet. Am I doing that right? Ragnock alphabet. Probably not. I'm probably making fun of it, aren't I? Is my audio coming through to you guys okay? Is the video coming through to you guys okay? Can you see the board? Can you see everything going on? Close enough. I gave it a fair attempt. Alright, as most of you know, if you DM me on Twitter or hop into the green room on Discord and I notice you, there we go, now I can see it, I will let you chat on the show. I don't have a problem with that. I prefer to keep it to 2 people if at all possible. That's my general rule. So, we need to move on with playing the game because some of the categories, as I've been going through the board and changing it up, I've tried to keep them fun. I was about to change the topics, but I didn't feel quite ready to change the topics. Okay, let me see why this is not working. Does anybody want to press like the exclamation bones in there and see if that's up? I don't know why it's not working. It should be. It should have popped up and given you guys new alerts and links and other things. I'm not sure if there's something I did wrong. Did I not turn it on? It's on. Everything's up. I have to shut it off and restart it. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shut that off. Yes. I'm sorry, folks, for the technical difficulties. I thought I had everything working today. I went through and checked it all. I made some improvements. Tried to make it more fun. I don't know why it's deciding to go, hey, by the way, we don't care. Just leave us alone. The other bot should be in here. Where's my other bot? I have two bots that are supposed to play with you guys to keep everybody entertained if I don't. Like moments like this. And then it's moments like this that aren't entertaining. So would somebody please throw a topic at me so I can talk about something? I'm getting worried. The show's gonna go downhill from here. No guests? I'm watching. Toys. A good idea to get new people to try butt stuff is to offer butt plugs for diarrhea sufferers. 1-800-THE-CORK. Okay, I'm taking comments from the crowd. Comments from the crowd. This was supposed to be amusing. It was supposed to catch guests. I was supposed to at least have one, so I thought I'd get a good laugh out of somebody. Anybody? Wasn't funny, was it? Bad idea. It's a bad idea. You don't think you should sell butt plugs to diarrhea sufferers? Help them get through work? Put a little knot on the bottom, a little string. I don't know how that would work, how well it would work. I'm probably gonna lose viewers over that. Let's let you guys pick another one. That attempt to be funny went bad. That was rotten to start with. Alright. I'll take another one. Well, yeah, but that would be the point. You can get through a day's work. VR. Pardon me. The prevalence of virtual reality will be correlated with the cost and coolness of the unit. Is there a point where we find something new and ditch virtual reality? Thoughts and suggestions. So this always goes back to the VR versus interactive, holographic, or realistic. Let's do the comparison to the holodecks on Star Trek TNG. There you go, cryptic. Right as I say it, I read it. Is there gonna come that point where we begin to use a holodeck style technology? And you guys have to remember that on Star Trek, when you were in a holodeck, if you were in one of Data's favorite ones on The Next Generation was an old pool hall, a bar pool hall. And in the holodeck, you recreate that. So, current technology, we could probably do 15% of the ability of the holodeck. We could probably create the image of something there, but the image becoming something. What is that called? The matter, light to matter transition. Like, if you drank something that was light, would you actually be drinking something? See, yeah. That's where the show kind of went overboard on certain things. Is it showed people eating on the holodeck. So if you could eat on the holodeck and you could have things on the holodeck, that means that those little boxes they had in the walls that made food. Why do I feel like an idiot sometimes? The little there was a name for them, but you'd walk up and order what you wanted. Replicator. The replicator. Ha, that's funny. Weren't we talking about a different tiny replicator yesterday? See, I lost half my crowd with the butt plug comment. Shit. Or shit plug. Something. I get easily distracted. Here we go. Back at this again. A replicator. So basically, your holographic world would have to have a replication technology or a light to matter technology. And when would the program be able to decipher when you could get away with just light and when you'd have to use replication, when you'd have to create the item, physically create it? Or would we, I'd more say that is way too far off. Replication technology is quite different. I think we could get the interactive world. The problem is the actual physical interaction with that interactive world. Would it have tactile abilities? Like, would you be able to feel the interaction of the light and the pulses in the room? Let's say we take what we know now. Let's say we take everything available to us and we build a box that's 16 feet tall, 20 feet wide by 20 feet wide. Jumped in the, I did not see you. Myself into a room. Oh wait, hold on. Watch this not work. What is going on there? Let me check everything. Let me get some theme music, see if the audio is doing something. Nope, theme music works, so connected, but nobody is in the green room. I'm gonna go on the Great Debate channel just so that I don't get bombarded. Goku, I will give you the role of on the show and you can join. Are you there?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, it worked the first try today. I'm loving it.
Awesome. For once, Discord's not being buggy.
For now. Lucky
Don't jinx
also,
it.
Yeah, lucky also that my. That's okay. Ignore that. I still haven't taken it off. I was too busy writing questions this morning. Where were we? Holographic interactive technologies and the holodeck versus VR.
Oh.
You want to chime in on that? I'll read the question, actually. The prevalence of virtual reality will be correlated with the cost and coolness of the unit. Is there a point where we find something new and ditch virtual reality?
Huh, I think Blade Runner 2049 touched on that fact with the Joy AI.
I've seen a lot of movies. I don't, off top of my head, recall Blade Runner 2049. I may
That
have
was
seen
the
it, I may not have, is what that means.
that was the newer one. I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything like that, but essentially they had this I guess you could call it like a holographic AI girlfriend. It was a very interesting premise.
Tech. Do you know what was another cool one is on, and I hate to keep going back to Star Trek. I love movies that were involving space. I am not a Star Wars versus Star Trek. I'm a what else can you offer me? You got any different ideas? Um, I liked in Star Trek the Voyager when the doctor, the holographic doctor, was given a device that gave him the ability to transmit his hologram remotely wherever he wanted to go. Now, he was interactable, but he could also phase out and be light when he needed to be, which kind of made that like on the verge of believable. How does something that can phase into light hold that thing? But then when he did that, he'd drop it and he'd lose his ability to, you know? The show kind of
Yeah.
took care of that.
No, I like that premise. It's definitely something interesting to explore in any kind of sci-fi topic. Like I hate to go back to Blade Runner 2049 and sound like a broken record, but essentially what they did with the Joy AI is she wasn't just, I guess, like you're an interactable companion or so to speak, but it also like imagine if your iPhone, if Siri was like a holographic like Cortana style projection, and not only could you like interact with her in the same way you could interact with like Siri or Alexa or something like that, but she was also your cell phone essentially.
You're talking like, and let's use the device you gave me or the name you gave me. You're talking Cortana. So for anybody familiar with Halo, Cortana was a three-dimensional holographic artificial intelligence that you could input into your suit or into a device where the suit attached into your body, which was, forgive me on the names of things sometimes, it wasn't, it was cybernetically connected, I want to say. Like it advanced your abilities, but you had to have the right structuring and something in the beginning of Halo. But I'm not going to get too detailed in that. Cortana was an actual 3D interactive thing. I mean, she didn't hold any matter to her. Like, you could go right through. She was just light, but she was 3D interactive.
Well, it's also interesting with the whole AI premise. And I know Halo touched on it. I believe Star Trek has touched on it. And Blade Runner also touched on it, where they might start out as like something that's pre-programmed, but as they gain experiences, like, do they develop their own personalities? Are they capable of true intelligence? Like, or is it just, all pre-programmed? Like Cortana clearly had her own personality and own free thought, free will, so to speak. But it's a fun topic to toy with.
It is.
Assuming they don't go spin it.
I find it hard sometimes to fill in some of these topics. It does get quite difficult, especially with more shows a week now. I've got less time to fill in these questions and topics, so they're going to get more and more creative if I can. Good morning to ABC123. It's easy as ABC.
Oh man, Schoolhouse Rock. Is that even still around anymore, I wonder?
I don't know. No, that's not Schoolhouse Rock. What was that song? I could sing another verse of it. I'm not good with remembering the title and the artist of a lot of songs, but I can remember verses from the song. It's
that was
easy
Michael
as
Jackson.
1, 2, 3. Baby, it's
that was Michael
and
Jackson,
me.
right?
1, 2, 3. You and me, girl. No, I don't think that was Michael Jackson. I don't know.
I thought that was something.
ABC knows
maybe
the
just
song.
a
Yeah. I'm a horrible singer. I gotta get in. No. No. All right.
I'm just bad
You're bad
with names.
Yeah. I can remember certain things if I've heard it enough or if I own the album, kind of like that, on hand thing. But if I've heard a song more than 3 or 4 times and one of the verses sticks out in my head, I will always remember that verse. Or at least a tune to it. Are you following along live? Because I haven't figured out how to, do a live broadcast window inside Discord. Can I live broadcast? Oh, I bet you all it would take is... no, because then you'd still be on the watch page if I did that in there. So, alright, let's continue.
Alright, I'm just gonna I'm guessing you want me to pick a topic.
Oh, I love when people pick the topics. That's what they're there for.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna, since I'm actually not looking at the stream right now, I'm going to go off of memory. Let's pick everybody's favorite topic. Sex.
Oh, obviously. Now that sexuality and personal details are freely shared on the internet, do you have shaved, trimmed, or rainforest junk?
I didn't realize this was going to be a truth or dare thing.
No, like I said, it's getting harder and harder to come up with things, and people love this, so it's like, oh shit, what the hell do I give the people anymore? It's like, okay, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want? Okay, I'll be dirty. I can get dirty here. This is the very edge of dirty. I don't know how dirty I need to get to please the crowd, but I'll stray the edge for a while.
Well, I have no problem since I have absolutely no lack of shame. the number one side effect of the internet. I have trimmed before, but I do not shave. I tried that once, and hell, it is fucking itchy.
Yes.
Never again.
Yes, it
It
is
is. It
itchy.
is not comfortable.
It's one of those things where, like, any guy knows when you shave your face enough, you're gonna end up with these spots that either have hair on them or they're itchy as hell to shave them smooth. So you learn how to trim your face to where it needs to be and what's comfortable, or how long to grow it and stuff like that to keep yourself well trimmed. Same concept, just a lot more careful.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to one of those things where it's like, I have to say, uh, hats off to all the females out there who are brave enough to go get a bikini wax because nope.
No, no,
I
no.
am not doing it.
Hey, I tell you what, you give me enough drugs and put me to sleep, I'm game.
Oh
Do it while
yeah,
I'm
if you knock
sleeping.
me out. Yeah,
I will sit there
put
and drink. If I wake up with a bikini wax that hurts like hell, I'll deal with it for a few hours, put some lotion on it, and move on. I'll feel good. No, just do it while I'm asleep, and I'm okay. If it wakes me up, you're done.
yeah, pop an IV in me and shoot me up with some anesthesia so I'm not awake for that. But nope. If I'm awake and sober, count me out. I'm done.
No private info, knob. I do not have Cards Against Humanity, but I have played. What's the other one with the card and questions game that gets kind of dirty sometimes?
Oh, Evil Apples?
No, somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. I played a couple of times with Yin and some of his friends. It's like Cards Against Humanity. It's the one with the little floating heads, and you pick a bunch of answers to the questions before it starts, and it goes through different rounds of the questions.
The only one I know of is Evil Apples.
Daryl says he would be too afraid to shave down there. I tell you what. Here's a fair question while we have almost 2 minutes left in the topic. Here's a fair question. And this goes both ways. Let's start with the men. How many men prefer to go down on a woman who's at least trimmed or completely smooth?
I think that's a pretty obvious question.
Okay. So, at least offer some of the same respect to anyone who you want to go down on you. Now remember, you can smell your armpits. Think about that pile of hair right there. If you turn your head and sniff your armpit after a day, I want you to think about what you're asking someone to do. I want you to think about that just for a minute. You tell me if you feel comfortable with that thought in your head.
I mean, I'd like to be courteous and at least shower first.
Well, still, take a shower, wash the living hell out of your armpits, wait 5 minutes, and then give them a whiff. They're already sweaty.
I don't know about all that.
At least mow a little bit. You don't have to take the grass off the field. You just have to make sure it's not, unsightly and overgrown. I'll tell you, one of the worst memories I have of going down on somebody is getting a hair between my teeth. Come on, maintain something,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with trimming or everything. You want to be well
Be
put
very,
together. So
very careful.
I mean, I guess now we're talking about what true love really is.
Yeah, bro. Oh, that right there is why there's a 5-minute buzzer. It's like, when do we have to stop talking about this? Okay, next topic. Here we go.
Moving on.
See, and then I want to take it off, and then I want to leave it there, and then I want to take it off.
All right, so I guess that means we're moving on to another topic now that we're done with that lovely conversation. So, do you want to pick this time, or do you want me to pick again?
Does the audience want to select the next one? I sound like a bootleg AP frog, or Doku sounds like a bootleg AP frog. Hey, you know what? Where is
They're
speak?
probably talking about me because I've gotten that before.
Oh,
People tell me I sound like AP.
you do have a little bit of that. A little bit of that. So talk and let me see what I can do.
All right. Well, what do you want me to talk about? Please don't ask me to keep talking about going down on people with a nice, healthy bush.
um. Oh, what has the chat got on here? The guest. Does that sound a little better? Does he not sound like AP the Frog anymore? I took a little of the bass away. I could always happily take him back to the AP the Frog voice, but that's alright. Alright, we've got, I'll randomly start throwing topics out there and you just select real quick. We've got politics, movies, video games, controversy, school, technology, government, transportation, television, the internet, creator tips, LGBTQ
Ooh.
plus alphabet. We got.
Just to have a little bit of fun, let's go with controversy. That sounds like a good one.
Controversy for the guest. Abortions are a female medical right, solely the decision of the pregnant individual, and an obligation of the society to afford this right.
Oh, man.
Disclaimer, I do not necessarily agree with the statements and points that I put under these topics. I just put them there to inspire discussion. Go!
All right. Well, I can't say I fully agree with the idea that it's solely the right of the female. But if you want to pull, a one night stand kind of thing, and yeah, all right, there you go. But I do think if there is a father figure involved or a potential father figure, I do think he should at least have some say in it. Maybe not necessarily the maybe not a full 50-50 thing. I don't know. That's such a difficult. Oh man, that is such a hard question to answer. I can't say I fully support it, but I'm man. What the fuck did I just get myself into?
um,
It's such a moral dilemma.
Yeah,
but I come from a place of bias, mostly because I don't agree with Planned Parenthood, not necessarily because they provide abortions, but they don't provide any kind of mental health, or at least they don't put any real emphasis on mental health or anything like that afterwards. And I had an not to get too dark on the chat or anything or put a damper on the mood, but I had an ex commit suicide after she had gotten an abortion because she had postpartum depression, and Planned Parenthood didn't do shit to help her out. So I'm definitely coming from a place of bias, but I mean, on this one, I usually take the back burner. I usually take the back burner on this one, where I can't say it should be illegal, but at the same time, I don't agree with it.
Okay.
I think at least at a bare minimum, you should really consider what you're doing before you actually do it.
Okay, so this is a very difficult topic to talk about because no matter which side or how you look at this, somebody's going to offer their different perspective. And again, that is the point of this show. This is a hot topic, and the topic is controversy. So this is one hell of a hot controversy. And I worded it in a way to side with a viewpoint. I'm not. How do I see this? As a father who, there may be more kids than I know about. And I've asked and I keep getting told something. So, I'm told they're not mine, but I believe they may be, kind of thing. That aside, I believe that when children are born this day and age, it should be asked if the father's made aware. And I think the father should be given every due right and process with a child. Do I feel that they should be given 50%? Maybe not. But we need to be held in consideration. If that makes
Yeah, that's
sense.
that you articulated that a lot better than I did. That was kind of what I was trying to say. It
I I if a woman goes in to get an abortion, I believe that the person who put that potential life into the woman should have to sign off. Yes, I understand she's there for an abortion of what would be my child. And it would be hard for both of them, but at least give that person the shot to know and understand that there would have been a life there from the choices that they made. That I feel is important. In addition to that, if the woman decides to give birth to a child and she can afford to take care of it and doesn't rely on assistance that would require a lot of financial support, then more power to her. A letter should be sent saying, you are just being made aware of the fact that this person has 50% of your DNA. You have no rights because she has not asked for assistance, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I would tend to agree with that. I mean, you at least have to afford some consideration to the other individual involved in the creation of a new life.
Right. Let's say that these. Let's say that there's a possibility that I myself have other kids out there that I haven't been made aware of. When they turn 18, they should be able to walk into an office and go, who is my biological father? And that office should be able to release that information to them.
Yeah, and also
If
even
the.
not just for the sake, not
Go.
even just for the sake of the father and the mother, but also for the sake of the child. I know
Right.
I know plenty of people who's never met their father or their mother, and it's a question that always sticks in the back of your mind. It's a question I'm glad I don't have to ask myself.
It's really hard because I did grow up without a dad. I ended up meeting him. Now we don't talk again. Separately, there's always that fear in the back of my head that a girl that was with me at a point has had children that are roughly the age of the minus of several months from the time that we were together, kind of thing. Then that rests in the back of your head going, well, for me, I'm that kind of obligatory person to take care of what's my responsibility, and to have been denied the knowledge if they are, even though I'm told they're not. So it's like, okay, cool, thank you, they're not, because I was a lot younger then. But then if they actually are and I was lied to, how do I feel about that? Because do I believe what I'm told by somebody?
Yeah, well, and also just coming from a biological standpoint, you know, we are we are a species that seeks to seeks to survive, and I hate to sound cliched, but the children are the future, so to speak. But they're the future of our species. They ensure our survival. And just for example, uh, the saying of someone to carry on the name, continue the legacy. Like it's biologically ingrained in us to care for our children.
Yeah. I I changed a lot of my life when my kids that I take care of now were born. It was a decision that my wife and I had come to. And that's how it should be for more people. It should be more of a responsible decision when you go to have kids. Not everybody sees it that way. They see it as just, hey, let's have sex. Okay, cool. Are you being extra careful to make sure you don't unintentionally have them? And even if you are careful, by the way, shit happens.
Yeah, you're still running the risk.
There's very few ways you
But I
can.
will say I know. Sorry, go ahead.
There's very few ways you can get about having some fun without and still have 100% assured that you're not going to get someone pregnant? Well, there's very few ways. There are a couple, but there's very few.
True. And I know plenty of people that have had children by quote unquote accident, but they have changed after they have a child. I mean, it's again, you don't really know what it's like until you've had a kid. And I'm not talking from personal experience, but from the experience of what I've been told by other individuals. And I've yet to meet someone who has had a child where it didn't basically change their life. And not for the worse, but for the better. Like I haven't met a mother that hates their kid. I'm sure they're out there, just like there's shitty people everywhere in the world. And thankfully I've not met an individual like that. But again, just speaking from the little bit that I do know.
Oh, I know why everything's not working. You're right. I'm not to disable from what you're doing. How do I add somebody to the moderator list who isn't currently in chat? Me be idiot for a moment. Hey, Sasuke finally joined us. All right, we're back at the board, and being that our audio guest Doku over in my Discord server, which is temporarily locking most people out through the link in the description, apologies. I'm fighting some shit posters. Hello, Data. Welcome. I would like the chat to mull over what they would like to do next. And if everybody throws in their idea and I get repeats, that's the one I'm picking. Meanwhile, I made some changes to the bot, and in doing that, I apparently have forgotten to make changes to allow the bot in the room. So, how am I supposed to add a moderator who's not there? Anybody know? I found it. That's a long list. I want to do... I don't even know how to do that. Alright, that's going to become a pain in my butt. What has the chat decided they want to do? I bought a mic, should be here in a week or so. That's cool. I am looking at if and what I can afford to get for new equipment without spending money, because I don't have a lot to put on it, so I'm looking for little things that will help me increase my productivity. One of the things I want to get is an 8 gig RAM card for my laptop so that it doesn't fight so hard to keep up with what I'm doing, because at this point my internet connection is awesome. I just need some more RAM. Doku, didn't you know a little bit about that?
Check out Newegg.
Newegg.com.
Like every day they have sales. I know a few weeks ago they had sales on RAM cards. You can get some pretty good deals on there. You just got to be diligent and check them every day.
About how I think I have DDR3 maybe. What would I have?
DDR3 sounds about right.
What would I have in an i7? Asus i7. I have an Asus.
i7. Probably DDR3.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe DDR4.
I think I've looked at it a few times. I'm not going to sit here and open it right now.
Yeah, on an Asus iCore 7. Yeah, it's probably DDR3. More likely than not.
I love this computer. I was going to use this as my main computer for my personal stuff, and then I started doing this and turned this into all of this, and I've taken most of my personal stuff and separated it off this computer. I'm thinking about buying a new desktop that's capable of doing like 4 times what this can do, and this thing's got some frickin'... This thing is mad, but I blue screen of death yesterday, and that kind of lead me back toward wanting to buy a new desktop. Oh, I was running. If you saw my screen right now, I've got like 15 windows open on one screen and 2 on the other. I don't see anything matching yet. Hello's gang. Mike, because it doesn't like them. If you have two slots, they must need to be matching. Num, if you have two slots, they must need to be matching. Wait, what? I'm asking for my um my guests here to pick a topic, and I'm looking for two guests to pick topics that match. I'm looking for a predominant topic from the crowd. Would the crowd like to? Would the crowd like to select what we're doing next? And I will happily bring them what they're looking for. I can do things the fun way. I just have to remember not to get too loud when I'm very close to my mic, because that thing can hear my saliva in my mouth. I'm not even kidding.
Oh god,
that freaks me out a little.
That reminds me of I forgot the name of the dude that was on the Kumite the other day, but he sounded like he was basically deep throating his mic. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I try to stay. I'm about 2 feet away. I need to buy one of those cushioned boom arms for this mic. I've got the adapter piece that came with it. It's sitting on a tripod on a table that I separated from my desk so that when I touch my desk, it doesn't get the vibration sound through it. Oh, what a pain in the butt it is, Ben. It's a nice mic. It was $80. It came with a headset that's decent. So,
Well, do you have a pop filter?
I I think it kind of has one. It's a studio condenser mic. I don't really hear like the popping noises if I don't get up close to it, and I have the gate set at 1.5 so that when my furnace kicks on, it kind of cuts some of it out for me. Sometimes I have to turn that up to 4.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could always do the really cheap ghetto solution and put a sock over it. I know there's people that say it works.
I've I've thought about getting one of those little ones you put on when I get a boon arm, but I haven't looked into prices on things. And for the boon arm, I'm almost thinking I might just go get the pieces and build something myself that I can just set up to be in a spot that I'm not worried about it breaking if I make it myself.
Well, that's the one thing I like about those like just the clip screen uh noise gates that you can get, because it prevents you from getting too close to the mic, so you can kind of set it so you know where, yeah, you have like a gauge of where the range is.
Yeah, I have the voice meter banana is watching me right now, and I have OBS watching voice meter, and I notice when I talk, I don't quite hit the red, and I talk in the yellow quite a bit. So I usually aim for the high green or yellow, and everybody says I sound good there, and that's through OBS. On voice meter, I'm not even barely scratching the green. I just barely see it pop up. I'm running the little color below the green, which is like a level of audio level.
But that's good. You definitely don't want to sound like what's his face? Damn it, I always forget this dude's name. Pascal when he talks, where it's just like he's quiet and it zero enthusiasm. Like you don't want to be at that level.
All right, here we go. Let's move on with the show. Would anybody like to pick another category, and will that kind of level like this I yeah, I can't not feel like I want to be here. This show is fun. It gets off topic sometimes. I'll just jibber jabber, and obviously there's the standard. I am producing the show that I am on, and that is very difficult to multitask 2 keyboards, 2 mice, another device in my hand at the current moment because I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, and 3 different screens that I'm looking at, trying to keep up with. You can just put 8 GB stick into maybe a 2x4 gig. What? Yes, you can put RAM in by adding a USB stick. So here's the dilemma there. I have 3 USB 2.0. No, I have 2 USB 2.0 and a USB 3.0 slot on my computer, I think. It's not 100%. And they're all full, along with my network cable, my power cable, my HDMI cable, my audio out cable, and I could currently put a CD in the drive or a card reader in. That's about all I can add to this computer right now.
Next thing they're going to develop sex bots that can also serve as laptops.
That would be that would be nice. All right, I'm gonna type something as the bot in the chat so that I can give my bot the ability to type in the chat. This is dumb. Well, I say this, I mean myself. There. So I don't know why it wasn't doing it before. So will that do it now that I've authenticated everything? I have no idea what I screwed up on this fuss bot, but I tried to make it better and I made it worse. Let's get at least one more topic out today because that's what the point of the show is, isn't it? I forget. Sometimes, I lose what's going on half an hour in and go, wait, did I have to do something else? Wait, here we go. What are we picking? Do I see anything out here?
Well, did we get anything from the chat?
I got nothing from the chat. I don't think they're interested. Oh, I got mainstream media from Daryl. I got school from Dark Sasuke. I've got mainstream media and school. Let's go with the easy one. Let's go with school. And then if we don't have any answers after that, we'll do mainstream media. Should parents be given a copy of curriculum outlines before the beginning of the year for the children, giving them the opportunity to know what the children are learning in school? Okay, I read that really sloppily. Should parents be given a copy of the curriculum outlines before the beginning of the year so that of their children, giving them the opportunity to know what their children are learning in school?
I agree 100% yes, especially when it comes to college courses. Now, again, we're talking about people that are of legal age, but I do think that there should be a curriculum outline that you can potentially show your parents if you so desire. Because Lord knows there's way too much indoctrination that goes on. I just remember when I was in college, my English professor, she started her class off on the first day with statement number 1, I am a self-proclaimed bleeding heart liberal. And statement number 2, I want everyone to subscribe to the New York Times because we're going to pick an article from it every class. So not only was she promoting the New York Times, which is very politically biased, but she's also a bleeding heart liberal. It's like, okay, I know where this is going. But to answer the question. That class was painful.
Yes, I would agree. Here's the thought I have. It's difficult sometimes, and obviously I'm not talking about maybe seniors, juniors, and seniors in high school and up. That's their problem. Be adult about it. You're at that point. But until they hit that age range, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure the guidance is done right, and the parents have to work with the school to make sure that children are in the right place and, have permission for the right activities and all of that, right? So I'm not talking about a 30-page, this is what we're doing this year, here's a little tiny picture of every single paper they're doing and, this and this. I'm talking, hey, in January, week 1, we have to cover addition, subtraction, multiplication. Week 2, we have to cover parentheses. Week 3, we have to cover a quick outline. Maybe even shorter than that. Month 1, we got to cover everything in My Dear Aunt Sally, blah, 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 blah. Please excuse My Dear Aunt Sally.
Yeah, I mean, a broad outline. You don't need a day-by-day breakdown or anything like that.
No, I'm just saying if they're covering a topic, and this doesn't just this goes for a lot of different reasons, and as a parent with 2 kids in school, this is something I would like to see, is maybe like 3 or 4 pages that goes, okay, in January they're going to be working on fractions, in February they're going to be working on decimals, in March they're going to be working on percentages, and in April we're going to be quizzing on all of the stuff they did in January, February, and March. Cool. So I can expect homework in that area. It gives me the ability to look.
Well, and also because if you think about it just from, I guess, a more practical standpoint, a lot of parents help their kids with their homework. So it would kind of help to know what your kid's trying to learn.
It's
And also,
it's certainly
and also-
difficult sometimes with the way that it's taught in school being different than how it was at the time I was in school. But it's it's beneficial to know before the kids know, so that you know, hey, by the way, you must have been getting fractions. How come I haven't seen any fraction homework? Um, I how'd you know I had fraction homework? You know, my kids try
exactly.
to pull that. I just wanted to basically know, okay, what are they working on? Is there a way I can access it? Make it online. Make it so I can log in and be like, okay, this is what's assigned. They're getting there. It's getting there. You can see grades and stuff after everything's assigned. But keeping up with it sometimes is difficult because it's still new. I think a
Well, and
quick
also you don't
outline
want
would be nice.
you also don't want to end up like I think it was Victoria, Australia, where they were teaching. They had a course for I forget what grade. I want to say it was like around like third or fifth grade or something. But it was like how to combat toxic masculinity or something along those lines. And
Right.
it's like you're teaching shit to fifth graders. Like you don't want to. That's not a path you want to go down.
That's another thing, is that parents should be aware when the children are being taught things that they don't currently believe. I remember when I was younger, there was a couple students that would get pulled from class because they were Mormon and their parents didn't want them taught in school anything about sex. So sex ed was off limits. When we got to certain things, they weren't allowed to be in class.
Yeah, and again, we've we've recently gotten to a point where it seems to me like the schools almost do more of a job raising children than their parents actually do.
Yeah. I, as a parent, I argue with the school constantly, and one of the problems that I consistently have is um, the communication that used to be there. You know, you used to be able to call a teacher and have questions about the homework or something. You could get hold of them. Now it's not anything like that. When you call, they're busy. When you ask questions, send emails and stuff, sometimes they don't always get to you. You understand that they're busy, but it feels like they just kind of don't want to divulge something to you. And then I walked in to have a meeting. This is what gets me, and I know we're over time. Everybody's going to start saying it in the chat. It gets me that I walk into a school, and one of the phrases I saw, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, said, if you teach a man, you teach a man. If you teach a woman, um, you teach something. I forget how they worded it, but when I read it and I saw it posted on the wall, laminated, and I'm sitting there looking at that going, that does not sound right. Why would you teach it like that? That's basically saying, okay, you teach a man, you teach a man. Cool. Just give them what they need and get them the fuck out. But make sure you focus on the girls, because when you teach them, they're more important. Is exactly what it sounded like. So I looked up the phrase in my phone, sitting there right before the school meeting, and I searched it down to an African speech that was given about including women in schooling, and how teaching women would be beneficial because they would be teaching their children. They would have the ability to help teach children. And the phrase was, teach a man, you teach a person. Teach a woman, you teach a generation. And that wasn't at all what was posted on the wall at school. It was, you teach a man, you teach a man. You teach a woman, you teach... It wasn't generation, it was something else. I can't think of it, and I think I deleted it from my phone because I do that every once in a while. But it was not offensive, just eye-catching to me, being what I do here online, trying to look at topics and, you know, see them, how different people see them. So I looked at it from the people being angry about it, and I'm like, okay, let me be angry about this for a minute, and let me check the accuracy. And the first thing I found in Googling the accuracy of the quote was a whole bunch of people checking the accuracy of the quote and finding out that that's not how or what was said. That it was pulled from a speech talking about adding in African girls to schools so that they could be taught how to read and write, so that they could teach children, allowing children to learn earlier, how it would benefit everybody to teach women in addition to men, as opposed to just teaching men. And they take that and they reword that or rephrase it just enough to say that, yeah, teaching a man, yeah, sure, that's okay. Just teach him and get him out. Teach a woman, focus on her, make sure she knows everything she can. That's what it made it sound like to me. I'm a crazy person. Absolutely. Oh, there was no exclamation. That was a question.
Huh, that's interesting. And that touches on a subject that I've talked about before in the past with several people, is there's a very subtle but prevalent amount of political bias that is bleeding into every aspect of society. Like, we constantly talk about the whole wrong think and stuff like that. But you look at, and not even just schools, and obviously the mainstream media is very guilty of this, but even just entertainment that you would consume on, a daily basis. And it's subtle. If you weren't actively trying to pick it apart or look for it, you wouldn't notice it. But you can tell there is a political bias. Like, schools don't necessarily seem to be focused so much on educating the future generation as much as they are focused on, we'll teach you the bare minimum of knowledge that you need to know in order to go out and be a productive member of society. But they're not trying to teach you how to critically think or think for yourself. It's a very strange world that we live in, where it's gotten to the point where if you read the book 1984, 20 years ago, it's like, oh yeah, that's a good fictional scenario. And now it's almost mirroring reality. It's kind of scary.
I was watching a movie a while ago, and it's amazing how sometimes when people say things, clips of movies come into my head. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I remember it was like Eisenhower was president or something like that. It was one of the, or Wilson or some, I can't remember the president. But the president had control of the radio stations, and I guess somewhere where the president grew up, there was a name of something in the town that correlated, that scared the president when he was a kid. And as he grew up, he created this fictional scare of the country over that name. And, it was perpetual fear-mongering from the presidential office. I don't think this was 1984. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But it was a weird movie looking at how if the government had control of all of the information you had, and even if everything was run, politely in the laws we have and everything like that, but the government had control of the information, they could convince you of anything they wanted.
Well, that is very true. I mean, he who controls, as they say, knowledge is power. He who controls the flow of information controls almost every aspect of society. Because if you think about it, you go to work 9 to 5, you get home, you get your news in 60 minutes, you eat dinner, you wake up, you do it all over again, then you're ready for the weekend and you don't want to pay attention to anything else. Like, if I control the programming that's in that 60 minutes and that's where you get all your news, well, you control the way people think. I mean, it's MK Ultra tactics. It's thought control, literal brainwashing.
Yeah. And
that's why propaganda is so deep.
It would only take, somebody just said it in here, it would only take a couple of generations of the right kind of thought programming to raise a generation to do what you want them to do.
Well, I'm thoroughly convinced, since we're moving back onto the topic of schools, I'm thoroughly convinced that's why you see the things happening that you see in, like, Evergreen College or Berkeley, is because there's such a heavy degree of political indoctrination, especially at the higher education level, that combined with media and the heavy political bias that you get, say, from just watching, say, like a Modern Family or Big Bang Theory, random brainless TV, to the news that you get, the newspapers that you read, the political leanings of teachers in class. I mean, God forbid you're a Republican at Evergreen College, you'll fail every single fucking course. And by the way, you're paying for it.
And it's not really
again,
a
like
choice
I said, it's kind of a
some
scary
of those courses anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean now some of them are required. Like I know what is it, Berkeley? Was it Berkeley or Evergreen that had like the mandatory feminist theory course for like all freshmen?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the colleges that much. Just when I have to search things for questions. Um, Let me clear that. Oh wait, I did clear that.
I just remember hearing about it in passing.
Sorry. At the same time, I was listening to you, which may have caused me to only hear like 2/3 of what you were saying, which I apologize for. I was trying to keep up with what's going on in chat. War on Terror or War on Dreaming. How do you know it's over? And then my bots, I'm just checking them because of my shitty day on Discord. Doka, were you in Discord this morning? Did you catch that big, quick hubbub?
No, I did not.
You did not. Well, I am not going to explain to you exactly what it was, but there are a couple of pinned messages from the person who isn't currently in the server, but is more than welcome to come back for his second advance attack, I guess is what you could say. My Discord server has been challenged. I have set my defenses and I am ready to fight.
Oh boy.
Somebody came in and started quite literally shit posting. Shitty shit pictures. And
Oh.
I'm quick, dude. As soon as I was up this morning when it happened, and I was like, oh, nope, not going to put up with that. I cleared the first 16 messages on my phone, and then 24 came through after that. So I sat down on my computer and said, well, my knuckles won't crack now. Okay, I tried. I sat down on my computer and said, all right, well, if this is the way we gotta go, this is the way we gotta go. And I changed around my bots a little bit. I fixed the links. Even if they do get this link, I've got defenses up for that. They're more than welcome to come in and try them. Sasuke is very appreciative of my fight against the shitty day. I have a spot in my Discord server. If you so want to post that type of stuff, and I did give him permission to go in there. I prompted him to the channel, and then he doubled down on me. And I took that. You know what? Don't get me wrong. I was in a good mood this morning. I'm not in a bad mood that somebody's attacking my Discord server. I think it's entertaining.
Oh, the internet is such a magical place, isn't it?
Yes. I'm a numbskull. I have no idea how to take care of people having fun on the internet. I, though, know how to have fun on the internet.
No, that's the thing. You spend enough time on the internet, you will see things that you thought you'll never ever have seen before in your life.
Oh, I'm seeing things that I've seen before and I don't want to see again. It's just
yeah.
This, at some point it's a little bit of entertainment. At some point, yeah, I know he was playing around. It was the hold on, let me pull the pin comment. I know I'm going over time today, and I apologize. Pinned comment says, wait, where did my pinned message go? Oh, that would help if I was in the right room. The pinned comment says, you win this round. After he goes, quick draw, eh? Because he tried to do a drop and refresh and re-enter and came in and thought he'd get it before he even got to posting. He was locked out. So, it wasn't that he was locked out. My bot promoted him. My bot gave him all the permissions on purpose to let him right in and do it. And my bot's still programmed to do that. A little differently, but he's still programmed to do it. I'm not going to not let people in. You guys can come join my Discord. I encourage you to have fun. My bots will mess with you. Type in XD in my chat. Seriously, anybody type XD in my chat. My bots are there to mess with you. Somebody type shut up Nightbot. Or fuck you Nightbot. No, fuck you Nightbot. Somebody type fuck you Nightbot. They're being programmed to have fun with you guys. That's what I do. I just want to have fun. I try to be entertaining. I try to make it worth coming back and hanging out. Why not? But if you want to come in and have fun with me, that opens the door for me to do whatever I want. I mean, I'm gonna have fun with it. How's
Well,
that
yeah,
one? You like that, Sasuke? In there trying out all these ones. He's like, he put new ones in. I gotta try them. Yes, yes, I gotta try them.
and that's what's fun about the internet. People make games out of the most ridiculous things.
This is all a game to me. I'm here to have fun and entertain people while I do it. I try to get serious things to talk about in sometimes a not so serious way. What can I say? That's entertainment for you.
Yeah, it's like bar conversation.
Yeah. Yes, I am programming the Nightbot to fight back. Try typing in "fuck you, Nightbot" with a space between night and bot. Just, I had to cover my bases just in case. You know how people are. Sometimes they type things differently. I try to plan for that, so there are actually multiple responses for different types of things in certain cases.
Just don't make it too smart. We don't need Skynet.
Skynet in my chat with 2 bots yelling at people in my chat.
Oh, that reminds me. If you're ever bored and you want to watch an interesting video, I don't remember the name of the channel, but if you search scariest things ever said by AI, it's very interesting the results that you get.
Do I want to be scared by artificial intelligence at this point in my game and entertaining practices with the bots? Also,
Yeah, it might give you a few ideas.
Really, Sasuke? Really? You expect me to anticipate and program for that one? Well, I don't know where our time is, but I know we are over the hour mark because all I can see on this watch page that I'm looking at is we're at 1:10. We are definitely over the hour mark. We have 10 people watching. That is cool. Top 5 what? And for the record, one of my bots is supposed to yell at you with the other bot under certain command keys, and I forget what they were now. I need to add that into the list of things that it tells you on the way through. Hey, now that I made Skullbot in charge of chatting, do I earn bones before I go? Let me find out. Do you check your... Oh, you're not watching live, are you, Doku?
No, I'm just in the Discord. I've made the mistake of trying to watch the live stream while also being on Discord, and it echoes, and I got yelled at because I'm an idiot.
You can mute the live stream.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but to be honest, after yesterday with Discord fucking up, I'm a little scared to do anything with it because I don't want it to crap out on me again.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's been doing it to me. Literally, it's done it every day this week except for today. I had one other day I had no problem with Discord. Other than that, I've had to either hard restart it or reset the audio settings and then go back into my features because I have it set up differently.
Yeah, Discord's been buggy for about the past 2 weeks for me.
However,
like, randomly servers would just go down and stuff. It's annoying.
I don't know if you noticed this. I just noticed it this morning, and it's not on everything. But Discord, the application, not through a browser window, but the application now accepts my spell check. It now has a spell check to the application, which I thought was cool. I don't know when they added that, but I saw it this morning.
Huh, they must have been... Maybe that's the reason it's been buggy lately. They're probably trying to do updates or something like that.
Yeah.
Add new features.
I'm looking for them adding in this audio channel with like maybe a little pop-up window that allows the video to go through so you'd be able to watch it like it was in the chat on the side. I don't know. They're getting creative. They're probably going to get there. You can do one-on-one, but that's about all I've seen that you can do. Wow, Dark Sasuke, the bot's making you rich. Also, I believe, if I remember right, I can double check. You are sitting at the top there. You are the only person that has surpassed the mark to be a regular. If you'd like to try and bone the audience, remember how? Spell check was added yesterday. I didn't notice it till this morning. But that's good to know that they do have that.
Huh, I haven't noticed it at all until you just told me.
Yeah, I forget what it was I was typing in the Discord, and it gave me the little spell check line underneath it. Why is that still not using your name? I'm gonna... This should come up with her name. If you've watched me for 3 hours or more, that's one of the commands that you gain. And as Sasuke hits different levels, I'm adding new commands for fun. So if you manage to watch longer than Sasuke, I will add commands more towards you. So there'll be some anti-Nightbot commands added here soon. Working on it, making it fun for the people that are here all the time. And I thank you for joining me. You didn't have anything to show yesterday, did you, Doku?
No. I'm just here to hang out.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Hanging out's the best thing to do on a show like this. We went over the hour by 15 minutes, but nobody minds because they're still here. So, I thank you all for joining me today. And we are going to, let's get out of here. Where's my music? Oh, it's up there. I'm going to have to rename that so it's easier to read. And